Welcome! We're going to show you how to change the chain on your Loyal 23 bushel manure spreader. First, let's go over what tools are needed. You'll need a block of wood, preferably 2 by 4 by 6 inches, a hammer, a ratchet wrench with 9/16-inch socket, 9/16-inch wrench, flathead screwdriver, rope, and a tape measure. To start, engage the apron chain. Pull on the crank arm until a flight lines up between the red dot and the first bolt. Next, loosen the tension bolts located toward the front of the spreader on both sides. This will allow the sprockets to push up against the floor panel so they don't spin. The shaft will start moving towards the rear of the spreader. While loosening the tension bolts, it's good to have someone else pull up on the apron chain so the slack will stay on top versus beneath the spreader. As you can see, the sprocket is wedged in on the bottom plate. Loosen the tension bolts on both sides. Next, take the wood block and slide it between the side of the spreader and the chain. You may need to wedge your screwdriver into the chain as shown. The link needs to be positioned so the side of the link lines up with the open slot. Then, hammer the side of the link to disconnect them. Do the same to the other side. Next, tighten the tension bolts enough so the sprockets can spin freely. We need them to spin so we can take the chain out. The chain should pull out fairly easily. Pull the chain out onto the floor and leave it as you pulled it out. Unroll your new chain and line it up with the old. Make sure the flights are going the same direction on the new chain as they are on the old. Now, grab a rope. Ideally, it should be at least 10 feet long. Tie each end around the first link. Make sure the rope goes on top of the axle and then to the top of the spreader as demonstrated. Pull the chain toward the front of the spreader, with the chain going above the axle. Then feed the chain around from the bottom to the top as shown. After that, bring the chain up from the rear as demonstrated. Next, grab your block of wood and hammer. Set the block between the side of the spreader and chain. Hammer links together and repeat for the other side. Tighten up the tension bolts until the shaft is about even distance between both sides of the opening. Measure the end of the punched hole to the shaft. There should be a distance of about 1 1/16 inches. Repeat on the other side. Next, measure the middle flight. Pull up on the flight, and there should be about 2 inches from the flight to the bed of the spreader. If you have more than 2 inches, you'll need to tighten up the tension bolts more. If you have less, then you'll need to loosen them up. Congratulations on your newly installed spreader chain! Thank you for watching.